Good evening, everybody. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Gilbert?
Here.
Mr. Teetsort? Mr. Detzel?
Here.
Mr. Heather?
Here.
Mrs. Talby? Here.
All right. Just a reminder, Northwest Local School District will create a responsive learning community where all students are valued, challenged, and guided along a pathway to success. And first, we have to approve our agenda for this evening. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
That passes 4-0. Okay.
So tonight we start by pausing to honor the memory of Tyler Carter, who we lost earlier this year. And we'll pause for a eulogy where Aaron Davis, principal of Corrine High School, and Matt Stoynoff, the AD, will come up and begin the process of eulogizing Tyler.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to recognize and honor the life of Tyler Carter. I would like to start by introducing and welcoming the Carter family who is here with us this evening.
I'd like to introduce head boys golf coach Mr. Brian Starman to share a few words remembering Tyler. Along with Coach Starman speaking this evening, you will hear from members of our boys golf team.
Good evening. My name is Brian Starman, and with me are Oliver Powell Campbell and Jack Berger, two members of the varsity golf team this past year. We are here to remember Tyler Carter, who tragically lost his life in a car accident on August 29th, 2022. Tyler was a senior at Corrine High School and was a beloved friend and teammate to many. He joined the NWLSD family as a musketeer at Montford Heights before attending White Oak Middle School. Oliver.
Tyler was fun, loving to his friends, and mischievous in the classroom. Tyler brought a style that often included Hawaii shirts and Crocs, sometimes even mismatched Crocs. As high school can often be a challenging time of judgment and peer pressure, Tyler displayed a confidence in himself to be his own person that today's generation can draw strength from.
Tyler was an avid fisherman and golfer. In the past summer, he decided to join the Corrine golf team to experience competitive golf. While his time with the team was short, I know he made an impact on all of us. The energy, enthusiasm, and goofiness that he brought with his shirts, Crocs, always brightened up the day and put a smile on all of us. His passion could be seen in his desire for one more, whether that be an extra bucket of balls or even an extra 9 holes after practice. This mantra of one more and going beyond can even be seen in his passing, as Tyler was an organ donor, and this choice has saved countless of lives.
We ask that you continue to keep the Carter family in your thoughts and prayers. Tyler's mother, Gail Carter, is a longtime employee of Northwest Local School District, and she currently works at Pleasant Run Middle School Food Services Cafeteria Manager. Tyler's father, Tim Carter, has been a longtime official and has refereed many of the wrestling events Corrine has been a part of. Tyler's siblings, Sydney, Tom, and Claire, are also Corrine High School graduates. In closing, Corrine remembers Tyler Carter. Thank you.
And on behalf of the district, our deepest condolences to the entire Carter family and the entire community.
Thank you.
Tyler started off as a Cub Scout in Pac 98, Montford Heights. Following in his older brother's footsteps, he lived by the motto for many years, be prepared. It's with sadness that we are here today, and we are thankful for the school board, the friends, the family, the teachers, the coaches that have built into our son's life and all of our children's lives, and in turn built into my wife and I's lives. It's been our pleasure to be living in this district. I hear a lot of good things about this district many times, as opposed to going around to different schools throughout the course of my tenure as a wrestling official. But being prepared, Tyler's prepared for life. You guys have done a fantastic job with the training of our children. We appreciate that. And I think Jack said that he was an organ donor. He had the chance to save 4 people's life immediately with the donation of his kidneys, his pancreas, and his liver, and then also his corneas. And although it's very painful for us, we know that he's living on in somebody else. And I just want to say thank you for recognizing our son. And we were just talking the other day about some of the fun memories that Tyler would bring across our mind, and it's just, we don't want to dwell on the negative. It's too hard right now still, and it's only been just a few months. And I just want to say thanks again.
So with that, we will move on to our second presentation of the evening. I'm going to introduce Dustin Gehring, who is going to do a recognition of our fall competitive music and athletic teams.
I had the honor of coaching Tyler in youth wrestling many, many years ago, and well, he was a firecracker. Didn't love wrestling. His dad wanted him to love it, but he didn't love it. But he showed up every time. It was a big ball of energy and nothing but smiles all the time. What an incredible gift it was for him to be in the room with so many others. He always built into everybody else with a smile. That's a special character. So if it's okay with you, let's take a moment of silence and remembrance. So we're going to shift gears a little bit as we have an opportunity to acknowledge many of our fall athletes. And we have kind of a packed room, which is exciting. At the end of everything, when we're all the way through the school, I'll welcome everyone to step outside to a group photo. That is also your way to get out of here. Okay, so we'll be able to step out there, take some group photos out in the hallway, and then you can get on with your evening. That being said, we want to start things off with White Oak Middle School. I know Mr. Gale and Mr. Boys are here, so let's welcome them up with a big round of applause as well. Come on up. You're one of our warriors. If you're here to be acknowledged Oak Desert Warrior, would you mind stepping up right over here next to me? Any White Oak Warriors that are with us tonight, step up next to me.
One of the things we have a long tradition of in this district is great music programs, and that's thanks to our great teaching staff that we have and our students that go all in for it. So I'm going to turn over to our band director, Mr. John Boys, to present our student award.
Hello. We had several students who were selected to be in the District 14 OMEA, that's Ohio Music Educator Honor Band. District 14 includes all of the schools in both Hamilton and Claremont counties. So this was an honor band that was open to many different schools. There were over 250 students who auditioned to be in the group, and then about 120 were actually selected. There were judges there for every instrument, and they picked the top students to be in that group. These students will then get to participate in a rehearsal with the top 7th graders and the top 8th graders, with a guest conductor and teachers from across the country coming to work with them, and then they will put on a performance on January 8th at Princeton High School in their big auditorium that they have over there. We were lucky enough at White Oak this year to have 8 students be selected to be part of this group. They all had to prepare extra music outside of school, and they worked for several weeks, and then they were selected as being the top musicians in their grade level. So these are the students that are in the 8th grade band at White Oak: Ethan Hunter, Olivia Zawoski, and Bradley Alcorn. And then also in 7th grade, we had several students selected as well. Evelyn Stein, Marissa Ahrens, Lisa Osage, Stephen Lackey, and then actually we had one student who was selected to be first chair, meaning he was selected out of all the students auditioned to be the #1 player in his age level. First chair tuba player, Matthew Henson. Thank you. Let's give all of our warriors a big round of applause.
Nice try, Blake. Congratulations. Go, first chair. Good job. Thanks for having us. Our pleasure. Back to shaking hands. They were out of everything else.
Do we have any of our Northwest High School athletes with us? Northwest High School? All right, at this time we're going to shift gears over to Corrin High School. We want to welcome up Matt Stoynoff, who will lead our procession. Let's welcome Matt, everybody.
All right, thank you for having us. Great night to be able to honor some of our fall athletes. Small portion of them. The cool thing with our athletes is a lot of them play winter and spring, so if they're not here tonight, it's probably because they're at another practice, basketball, wrestling, swimming, or whatever it may be. So we're going to honor a few of them here tonight. So I'm going to invite Carl Huber up. He's an assistant coach on football and wrestling, and he's going to introduce some of our football players.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to speak on the behalf of these student athletes that participated in fall football this fall. I know it wasn't quite the season we achieved or wanted, but we're back to work now to get back to that standard. But with that being said, we got a numerous amount of tremendous athletes that got a lot of personal accomplishments that they should be honored of that I'm going to speak of. So, up first, Jameer Carpenter, which I believe is here. Come on up, Jameer. So, Jameer is a senior. He's a 2-year starter, nose guard for us, did a great job up front. He was voted All GMC again this year for the 2nd year in a row, as well as honorable mention All District. So, good job, Jameer. Next up, I have Donovan Dillingham. So, Donovan is also a senior for us, played corner, always covered the best guy on the other team at wide receiver. He's a 2-year starter. He was voted first team All GMC and honorable mention All District. So, good job, Donovan. Next up, Nathan Fry. So Nathan Fry was a senior defensive lineman for us, a 2-year varsity letter winner. He was voted first team All GMC defensive line, second team All City, and second team All District. Congratulations, Nathan. Next up, I have Zay Jennings. Zay is a junior, 2-year starter, quarterback for us the past 2 years. He was voted first team All GMC as an athlete because he did play a little defense for us towards the end of the year. He was voted first team All City and second team All District. Congrats, Zay. Next up, I have Corey Myrick. No, basketball. So, Corey's also on the basketball team. I think he's a starting power forward or so for the basketball team. He started safety for us, 2-year starter at safety, and he was second team All GMC. Next up, I have Brennan Green. So, Brennan was actually a first year. This is his first year playing football at Coleraine High School. He was a punter for us, did an outstanding job changing the field. He was voted second team All GMC. Good job, Brennan. Next up, I have Keegan Garr. Keegan is actually one of the few sophomores that played varsity for us this year. He was voted second team All GMC for offensive line. Good job, Keegan. And then finally, Jordan Roberson. Here? No? So he was voted, he's a junior, wide receiver, first year starter for us, and he was voted second team All GMC as well. So.
Congratulations, guys. Thanks, Coach Huber. Up next will be Drew Neighbor for volleyball. We have 3 fantastic athletes here, so Drew Neighbor will come up and talk about them.
So I have 3 amazing girls. 2 of them are seniors, 1 of them are juniors that I'm going to talk about. First one is Grace Gaynor, 4-year volleyball starter. She had second team All GMC, 2000 career assists, and is all-time career assist leader. Next up is Tamaya King. As a junior, it's very hard to get recognition in volleyball because most of them go to seniors, and she got second team All GMC. Last one is Kate White. She is a 4-year starter. She got first team All GMC and third team All District.
All right, last group we're going to do is girls soccer, and I'm going to talk about them. Our first one is Kalani Brodex. Kalani was first team All GMC and first team All Southwest Ohio. Thank you. Next athlete, Josie Meineken. Josie was first team All GMC. All right. Our next athlete, I do know she's at girls basketball. Elizabeth Sarfo Benson. She was second team All GMC. And then our last athlete here tonight, Ava Shears, she was second team All GMC also. Thank you. And that will be our fall athletes for this evening. Up next, I'm going to introduce Jake Page. If there's one thing about our marching band, I love these kids, but the marching band spends twice the amount of time at school, twice the amount of time on the turf, and they grind more than anybody. So I love all you guys, but they get after it. So, Mr. Page, if you want to come up.
Welcome, Mr. Page.
Thank you very much for having me tonight. It's my honor and opportunity to acknowledge our two amazing drum majors from this past fall. These two ladies have not only been outstanding musicians in the classroom, but also outstanding leaders on the podium, off the field, on the field, in both their schoolwork and in all band capacities. So it's my honor to announce tonight Emily Holt and Natalie Alcorn.
Friends, we have quite a few Cardinals up here. We're going to send them around, but before we do that, how about one big round of applause for them as well?
Congratulations. See you next year, right?
So I'll take those.
He's on my basketball team.
Do the real talk with?
So we got one small announcement left.
The ball, he's like 6'5".
Get a scholarship punting. Do we have any of our Northwest High School athletes with us today? We do want to take a moment to acknowledge our Northwest High School athletes as well. And we want to honor them as well. So I at least want to say their name for the meeting so we can acknowledge them as well. So these are members of our football team at Northwest High School. Jabril Bradford, first team all-conference. Diego Young, first team all-conference. Jamari Thrasher, first team all-conference. Deavion Perkins, first team all-conference. LaShawn Dickerson, first team all-conference. Eric Morris, first team all-conference. Nate Love, first team all-conference. Noah Calvin, first team all-conference. TJ Johnson, second team all-conference. And DeJohn Carter, second team all-conference. And Gus Hines was honorable mention. So let's give our Northwest Knights a big round of applause as well. Friends and family, if you were here for this recognition, we'd love to have you step outside into the hall. We're going to do our best to take some group pictures. That's also your way out. Come on out.
We do it in Daryl's office. Yeah. Just get it down there. $100 on. Stand him up on. Are you gonna give your mom a hug and kiss goodbye? Give your mom a hug and kiss. Imagine that. Where's everybody going? They're leaving us.
The little boy. Thank you. That's all you do, right? You say bye?
You like to see it. Yeah. There's something to take. Your hearing is not that good. My hearing is really good.
So next up, we have a update from our Portrait of a Graduate. So I'm going to introduce Emily Dodlinger, our Assistant Director of Secondary Curriculum, who is going to give context to Portrait of a Graduate and some friends we have with us who are going to share some of their experiences.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. Over the course of the last year or so, we've been working on a Portrait of a Graduate competencies. So we have worked with our community to identify areas that we want to ensure our graduates have skills in before they graduate and leave us as graduates. So, sorry. Why we did this, we want to make sure that we have a rigorous academic content with deeper learning experiences for our students. So not only learning the skills needed within the classroom, but how do they cultivate these skills outside of the classroom and transfer what they're learning to the outside world. And so we want to make sure that we're creating lifelong learners while also giving them the skill sets they need to live in the world that they're going to be living in as graduates. So our competencies include communication, critical thinking, integrity, learner's mindset, adaptability, and empathy. These are all key areas that we are trying to embed within our curriculum just to ensure our graduates have those skill sets. So I will briefly go through this. Adaptability, just ensuring that our students have flexibility, that when faced with challenges, they know how to be flexible and work with others to overcome those challenges that they may face. Communication, being able to communicate not only with adults but also their peers in group settings while also in individual settings. We want to create critical thinkers, so people who can not only look at a problem but also look at solutions to those problems. We want to create empathy, so looking at each person individually and holistically and understanding where they come from, their different cultures, feelings, experiences, and how that plays into them as human beings. Integrity, so trust and respect and building those within our students and taking ownership for when they make mistakes. And then having a learner's mindset and recognizing that we're all learners, no matter our age, and we can always learn from each other and our experiences to make better choices for ourselves and for the people around us. All of these competencies go into our idea of deeper learning, so transforming education and our learning beyond the classroom. And so part of this work has been for our grade levels to create experiences that not only start within the classroom, but then they can transfer their learning outside of the classroom. So our work this year has been for each grade level to create a deeper learning experience that we're calling expeditions. And it is our hope that throughout each grade level, no matter what building you're in, you will get to experience these expeditions. And so we are in the early development stages of expeditions right now, and we're really working with teachers who are leading the way and hoping to get more teachers on board as the years progress. So I have the honor of introducing a wonderful team who has actually done an expedition this year. I am going to be introducing the kindergarten team from Pleasant Run Elementary School to present their expedition and their experience.
Good evening. I have to say I'm really, really nervous, so bear with me.
Pretend like we're all kindergartners, we'll be fine.
I know. I keep thinking I can handle an entire classroom of 25 5-year-olds, but y'all make me nervous. My name is Eileen Martini. I teach kindergarten at Pleasant Run Elementary. I have several of my team members with me. This is Becky Cuesta, Tanya Esau, Nikki Kay, I'm not even going to try her last name, and Amy Wiseman. I'd like to give just a very short explanation about what you're going to see. Amy Wiseman is the team member from the district for Portrait of a Graduate. She came to us early in August and said, hey, who wants to do this? And I mean, we jumped on board immediately. I mean, we pretty much said no doubt we would do it. We already teach a unit about animals, and because of the Portrait of the Graduate program, we were able to expand upon and incorporate several different parts in our animal unit. Our children were able to speak about what they were learning. They were able to use their critical thinking skills while working on group projects. Our lessons offered a chance for our students to thrive and experience events that they may not normally get to take part in. As our presentation plays, I'm going to share with you just some of the things that the students were able to experience. Hold on, I need glasses for this part. And I'm guessing it's this button? Okay. So our unit took place during the month of October. It was a 4-week unit. During this unit, we were able to read all kinds of nonfiction and fiction books about different animals. We were able to study a variety of different animals, not just cats and dogs. We learned about animal characteristics through books, card sorts, investigations with Mystery Science, and PowerPoint presentations. And there's an example of some of our group projects of the kids working together, learning how to be partners in small groups and sort out their animal pictures according to different characteristics. We sorted animals by size, how they move, body coverings, what they eat, and many other characteristics.
I'm going to jump in because I got to watch some of these.
Oh, you're in here.
I saw that. But to hear kindergartners who, at this point, it was the end of first quarter, the beginning of second quarter, so they hadn't been in school very long. To hear them talk to each other about how they were going to sort these animals. Well, this one has feathers, or this one swims. But to hear them talking to themselves was amazing.
And we didn't give them much direction with this. We kind of gave them a pile and said, group them. And they were able to do that on their own. And then they had to share out how they grouped their animals. So here's just a few more pictures. You can never get enough of little guys. See, told you. There she is. Because Mrs. Wiseman is phenomenal, we were able to get some funds to bring in Hamilton County Parks. He brought in 3 different types of animals to share with the children. It's just amazing. They were able to touch a snake, which was very thrilling. I did not touch it, but they, of course, were all into it. They were able to watch a frog eat. And then, of course, that beautiful, beautiful red-tailed hawk. She was amazing. She kept flapping her wings, and at one point he almost lost her. So, very exciting. But the children were so enthralled watching these animals, you could hear a pin drop. They were so excited to see this. That's, again, part of their presentation. I mean, look at this little guy with his finger out like, I'm totally touching it. There she is. Yeah. There she is. And they didn't. I thought for sure we would have a few criers, a few nervous ones, a few very scared, like when the hawk, she flipped over, and I thought for sure there would be a few of them up out of their seats. They didn't budge. They didn't budge. They were so entranced with what he was doing. They got to pet a snake, see a toad eat the cricket, and of course, watch the red-tailed hawk poop on the carpet.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. It was her classroom. So.
And he said she doesn't do that often, but yet, I think it was like 3 times.
Yes. These are some of our animal writings that the children got to do. They wrote about many different types of animals. And you could see some of them starting with their beginning writing skills there. And then one of our favorite places is we got to go to the Cincinnati Zoo. And of course, we went on the most crowdest day. But they were amazing. The kids really, really loved seeing everything that we had been teaching them, everything we had been working on. And they described the animals as we would walk by a habitat. They would stop and say, oh, that one has spots. And we got to watch the cheetah show, so the children got to see the animals running And the one cheetah just chased, I don't know what it was, but it just chased the little thing around on the rope. Well, the other cheetah was very smart and crossed over the path and caught the meat right in the middle. The kids, like, they described it, how it was so smart and how it was able to figure out and follow its sense of smell to get across the field faster than the other cheetah. So lots of good conversation with that one. So these are our kiddos. Again, we love them. We also, when we came back from the zoo, did more journaling. This is, whip it out. This is our culminating project, and these we think are just precious. The children laid on the ground on the big pieces of paper. We traced them, and then they had to work as a group, in a small group, and illustrate their creature. And they had to incorporate different things in their creature and different characteristics. So you'll see they added claws, they have scales, bellies, tails are on there, and they labeled some of that so that you were able to figure out what they drew. But the whole entire time they were doing this, I mean, they worked together in groups and a lot of discussion of who was going to draw what, who was going to do what. I think we have some close-up ones. Look at the cheetah laying there. The cheetah made a huge impact. But there they are with their little projects. And then at the end, after they did the projects, they presented and described what they drew about. We loved this project so much that we have asked Mrs. Wiseman if we could do it again in spring with the sun, moon, and star units that we teach. So we're very, very excited about it. Look at that guy's teeth. Our kindergartners learned a lot about their animals and their characteristics and adaptations for survival. We worked in groups multiple times throughout the 4-week unit while taking turns talking and listening. This project enhanced everything that we are already doing about studying animals, and it was fabulous. And we thank you very much, Amy, for asking us to do it.
I didn't work alone. Smiley and I worked all year last year putting this together, and then I brought it to my team and said, we need somebody in the district to try it.
And we totally jumped on.
The whole team jumped on board, and it was wonderful to see the kids working and to hear how they were talking.
Well, and the one thing that I noticed, especially in my classroom, is right after our animal unit, we have a plant unit. And right when I started talking about the different parts of the plants and what they needed to survive and everything, the kids immediately started saying, oh, well, that characteristic of this, and started pulling all the words that we used in the animal unit into our plant unit. So it carried over, which I thought was a huge teacher success at that time.
Our first grade exhibition is about plants.
Oh, good. Perfect. Okay. Any questions, please, now. Oh, I do too. We really, really missed it. So it was really fun to go on. And the kids just loved it. Absolutely loved it. So thank you.
I just want to thank.
Yes.
I just want to thank you for being willing to come and share this, because a lot of times people hear Portrait of a Graduate and they think of a high schooler or a senior, but being able to make sure that those competencies are embedded in our graduates.
Right.
They start at kindergarten,
when they're
and you
little.
guys showed very clearly how critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability, empathy can easily be embedded at the younger ages, and I just appreciate you sharing that context, so thank you.
Thank you.
One comment for me, if I may. The thing that I've really noticed here is the enthusiasm you ladies have, and that certainly passes down to the children, and much noticed and appreciated, so thank you.
Thank you.
And I love that you noticed that the kids took what they learned and were applying it, because that's everything we talk about in education is don't just learn it for
Absolutely.
now, learn it for later, and the fact that you see that carryover
The
is amazing.
second they whipped out the term characteristics and plants, I was like, yes! So it was fabulous.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Was this the first, field trip that they've had?
This was the first field trip that this kindergarten group has gone on. It's the first one we've taken in 3 years. So this was a big step for
How
us.
exciting was that?
It was
Very exciting,
very
especially for their
exciting
first
all of
year in
us.
school.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them, it's their first year in school. They didn't go through preschool, so
Nope.
this was
I think
very
we've taken
exciting.
that for granted until,
Oh,
just this.
absolutely. And many of our students, we have some that have, several of my children that have gone to the zoo because they have a zoo pass, but there's many that have never been there.
Yep.
So they were just beside themselves when we saw it, when they got to see the animals. So, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Student Achievement Liaison Report. At Coleraine Middle School, we had a group of kids got to spend some of their PBIS money in a raffle to win a visit with Houday, the mascot. So we had about 30 kids that got to spend some time with Houday. At White Oak, our Students of the Month for November, 6th grade Brooks Taylor, Chloe Howard, Natalie Salk, Reese Probst, and Braden Murray. 7th graders, Debbie Umana, Deani Waller, Nathan Boeing, Rena Russell, Kingston Rowe, Lily Sarfo Benson. And 8th graders, Max Jacobs, Zoe Laving, Shelby Powell, and Finn Detzel. And our Pleasant Run Middle School Students of the Week are Kalaya Austin, Helen Kaja, Lauren Adams, Rachel Trammell, Rushma Kadari, and Talon Griffin. At Coleraine Elementary, we're excited to have 2 PTA reflection winners, Aubrey Hostler and Kennedy Andrews, both won for visual arts. And we also had 2 honorable mentions in visual arts, Depeche Chapagan and Emma Dembrowski. And our 2nd graders performed their holiday concert to a packed house last week. They did a fantastic job and put everyone in the holiday spirit, and Mrs. Matiska, our music teacher, did a great job preparing them for that wonderful event. At Struble, we had 39 Blue Jays recognized at the monthly character breakfast. Students were recognized for following the Blue Jay way and exhibiting good character. Students and a member of their family celebrated with a special breakfast and recognition ceremony, and they each received an award and a t-shirt. Our 3rd grade students in Mrs. Strong's room recently completed their 10,000th math question on IXL. A lot of learning is happening daily, and IXL is a great way for the Blue Jays to practice and show what they've learned. All students in Ms. Clark and Mrs. Yeager's 1st grade class made growth on both encoding and decoding words as demonstrated on the spelling screener. From September to November, 13 out of 16 students improved by 1 or more skills level, moving from more basic encoding skills to vowel sounds, digraphs, trigraphs, or blends. Great job, 1st graders. At Pleasant Run Elementary, Pleasant Run is excited to announce 2 of our students earned honors in the Reflections contest. Caleb Rogers was awarded the title of district winner in photography, and Lane Hutchinson was awarded honorable mention in photography. Thank you to Alondro Sandoval, Valentia Vasquez, and Valentina Salgado for being wonderful student interpreters and helping our new students understand what is needed to get adjusted at PRE. Montford Heights is excited to announce that 2 of our students were chosen as PTA Reflections district winners to move on to the county level. Ava Crawford won for music composition, and Kristen Guason won for literature. Jeffrey Ewers was an honorable mention for literature. Montford Heights also hosted a Light Up MHE event on Thursday, December 8th, where there were approximately 250 students who attended and were able to learn about holiday traditions around the world. Did you know that Houston Early Learning Center has 31% students that speak another language besides English? We have a total of 10 languages spoken at our preschool alone that include Nepali, Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, Hindi, Gujarati, Palani, French, Tigrinya, and English. As you can imagine, the holiday season looks very different among our student body, so we have taken time last week and this week to learn about holidays around the world. In addition, we had a little fun and decorated our classroom doors with the help from our students to display some of the holidays that we are learning about. It's been fun to learn even more about our students and their holiday traditions. At Corrine High School, congratulations to the following district winners in the PTA Reflection Contest: Layla Klotz, Literature; Casey Richter, Visual Arts; Jade Butler, Visual Arts; and Peyton Miles, Photography. We are proud of these students as well as all those that submitted work in the contest. Congratulations to Kate Ott for being named the Northwest Exchange Club Student of the Month. Kate is a junior at CHS who works hard both inside and outside of the classroom. One teacher described Kate as a leader in the classroom. He has proven to be extremely gifted in the engineering manufacturing field and exceeded all expectations. He has moved through the class so fast that he helps his peers stay on pace. Another teacher described Kate as a bright and inquisitive young man with an enthusiasm for learning and good-natured attitude. He always has a happy greeting for his teachers and peers. He is engaged in the classroom, asking questions about the content and working diligently to master new skills. Corrine is thankful to have Cade represent our school in such a positive manner and congratulates him on a much-deserved award. At Northwest High School, we would like to spotlight Alexandria Keys and participating Key Club members for initiating our Adopt a Family initiative to help donate games and feed qualified families for Christmas to ensure students have both food and fun over the break. We want to highlight Sarah Goldick and participating members of the Student Senate for their outstanding work ethic, leadership, and creativity in decorating our school for Christmas. We would also like to send a big shout out to all the members of the Northwest High School Book Club for creating themed ornaments as an extension of reading The Getaway. Our book club students meet each Thursday, and they're always looking for new students. Also, congratulations to our Students of the Month, Noah Denson, Elijah Brown, for representing the Night Way. So big congratulations to all of those students.
Good job with names.
Just keep it flowing.
All right.
And then tonight, we also have Corrine High School teachers Allie Howard and Whitney Loneman, who are here to introduce the program Hope Squad and some of the students who are part of that. So I'm going to let them come up and introduce Hope Squad as well as what they do.
So I'm Sean Ryan. I'm one of the assistant principals at Coleraine High School, and I'm going to introduce to you Miss Loneman and Miss Howard, and they're going to go through all the details of what Hope Squad is and why these students are standing up here. And the first thing they're going to tell you is the importance of this club staying grounded and humble. I want to take a second and brag about these kids. They sent out a survey to all of their peers, Ms. Howard and Ms. Loneman, and asked ultimately, in a time of need, who would you go to talk to? Who is a friend to everybody? So as we sat up here and listened to all of our achievements with our athletics, this group of students is up here because ultimately they're just great human beings. So they're going to talk to you about the details of it. But this group up here, I'm just so proud of because they're peer nominated for just being great people. So.
Okay, so Hope Squad is a peer-to-peer suicide prevention program. And like Mr. Ryan said, the students were chosen through the nomination process from their peers.
And Hope Squad is like a nationwide program, so there's plenty of other high schools around Cincinnati that also have Hope Squads. And there's a great community of different Hope Squad advisors being able to bounce ideas off of each other. So as this is our first year, that's definitely been helpful in getting the ground running. And so yeah, we officially have 15 Hope Squad members. And like Mr. Ryan said, it was strictly here's student body, who would you go talk to? And from that list, the 15 that accepted were some of the highest nominations. So it's not like the teachers just went out and said, these are the top students. We wanted diverse students that were in lots of different clubs, lots of different sports, in drama, in art, whatever it may be. We want diverse so that everyone in our student body felt that they could go to somebody, and it wasn't just the same kids in the same classes and the same sports. So our group is definitely diverse. We've got sophomores through seniors, and every year we'll look to add to our Hope Squad. So within Hope Squad, it is at its core a suicide prevention program, but it is more than just that. The name says it all. You're just bringing hope to the school. So there are different lessons because we want to give the kids the tools that they need to be able to help their peers, and not just say here, go out there and help. Well, how are we going to do that? So the very first step is through QPR, which you think about it like CPR. CPR is going to save someone's life. In that regard, QPR is from the mental health aspect. So our kids went through the QPR training where they learned to, question, talk to someone that may be feeling suicidal, persuade them to then go tell an adult, and even if they refuse that persuasion, you still go, the kids know to still go and refer if they're concerned about a student, and they have those, they know to come tell Ms. Howard, myself, and then we'll get the student the help they need. So some of the other things that we will learn about as the semester continues, self-care, because as you are in mental health, you have to learn to care for yourself, adversity, inclusivity, and like Barry said, suicide prevention. So we're not teaching the kids to be counselors, of course counselors do counselors. It's just that bridge from the students to the adults, because research shows that kids tell other kids that they're feeling suicidal before they'll tell an adult. So our Hope Squad is just bringing that bridge between the kids and the adults. So we have 3 of our Hope Squad members here tonight. We have Addie and Ella and Tay, and they're going to talk a little bit about things that they're excited about as Hope Squad members.
Hi. I'm excited to learn more about how to help others and also how to help myself in some situations, and just a general feeling of I'm making a difference just by being myself, but with a little bit more education to it.
Okay. And then we also think it's important to be able to empathize with peers and listen to them. It can be hard, like she said, for us to talk. As a student, it is a lot harder to talk to adults about certain things. It just feels like it's not personal. So I think going to a friend, I know a lot of us, not even just us here, but also the other kids that are in the classroom with us, they are really, it's a really diverse group of kids. We have, like she said, we have people that are in football, cross country, just everything. There's tons of different things in there. So you're getting people from all different kinds of groups that know almost everybody in the school. So I feel like we have a good reach in that. And again, that's what's going to create a better community and connection at Colerain. We really are trying to just build a better student body, trying to have more people more united, not so mean to each other. And then we also want to bring awareness to mental health. Again, as a student, it's very important. We all go through rough times, but we also have to understand that for others, that's not as hard. I feel that mental health is a hard thing for some people to grasp the concept of. It's not just people saying that they're sad. There are people that really do need help. So if we as students can be that person to reach out and help them, if we feel like we need to take a step, if they come to us, that's even better. That means they're comfortable. But that is a really big thing that we're on. Also providing an alternate outlet for students to talk to. Like I said again, it's very hard for a student to talk to an adult member. It can, if you're trusted with that, I think we can, this is kind of off topic, but seeing certain teachers at our school, I feel like when you have a teacher who is, that you can bond with and everything, I think it's very important, and I feel like it starts there. If we do not have a Hope Squad, which I feel like we don't have, some teachers just aren't able to bond with a lot of students, but those that can, I think it's very important, and I feel like it helps us get to them being able to trust people more. But having us, for those students that don't feel comfortable bonding, or maybe they've had traumatic events with adults, it's another important thing, just for them to be able to come to us. And then that just improves how we support each other. And then as far as Hope Week, it's a week in the spring where we try to just bring hope to the community. So We've made some ideas, so around once a year, around St. Patrick's Day, our school gets a 4-leaf clover, and they put every student's name in the school on it, and they hang them in the front wall. And it's like a little fun thing that you go out there, and they're all randomized, so you have to like go to try to find your name, and it's really fun for everyone. So we have talked about making little lifesavers like the ones we have on our shirts and everything. We have planned to have those and like have people in different like freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors, and you have to go find your name on little buoys. Or we're still planning on it, but again, like she said, it is our first year, so we're trying to come up with ideas, but that's our general kind of thing. And I want to reiterate that it's not just suicide prevention. Like I said, it is a broad thing on mental health because there are things that lead to that, so I think it's important to just get that out there, that it's not just a suicide prevention too.
Say something about
I mean, she said everything. Me personally, I think that Hope Squad was a really good thing. Even if I wasn't in it myself, I would like to go to it. I feel like being an athlete or being someone that has a lot of time at home, not being an athlete, you have more time at home for more stuff outside of school can happen to you, so you build up more confidence, more teachings inside you. But also being an athlete, you have a lot of stress with the balancing school, social life, being a teenager, and still want to maintain grades, and you have like further plans of going to college, stuff like that. I feel like it would be very much easier to vent to somebody that I'm close to or a classmate. It would be to go to one of my teachers. I feel like I doesn't really understand what I'm going through as much, even though they were teenagers and kids at the time.
Any questions?
I saw this a few weeks ago up in Columbus. That was kind of the first time I had been exposed to it, and it was a high school. I think it was Canton High School, actually. And they were just sharing some stories about their program. I mean, to me, this is like the greatest thing ever. Like, to potentially save somebody's life, right? I mean, what's better than that? You know, I mean, honestly, and I believe the peer-to-peer connection, you know, and all the involvement that you guys have. I mean, you could just see like behavior change in somebody and being where you're at, maybe ask some questions and get ahead of something before, you know. So I just want to thank you guys for stepping up and doing that. That's huge to me.
I also do want to point out, we have had some other members in our group get peer that have already come up to them, but I just want to say that Tay himself has already had someone come up to him about it, so it is working, so I just want to point that out there. So.
Yeah, I applaud you guys. This is great. You should be very proud of yourself for helping to start this initiative, and not that anything with the girls, but it's awesome to see you up here because I think it's harder for guys to open up, so it's great for you to be out there being a leader, and thank you guys for putting this into our school.
Are any of you interested in going into mental health outside of school?
So I plan on going, I'm thinking about psychology, something with psychology. Yeah.
Folks, you can't, people sometimes don't realize the severity. I've worked in mental health my whole career. But this weekend it sort of hit a little bit closer to me. A good friend of mine's granddaughter, on Friday night, her boyfriend of 5 years broke up. She was 19, so she was right out of high school. Broke up with her high school boyfriend, and on Saturday she hung herself, dead. What it does to the family, a permanent solution to a temporary problem. That's what I tell my patients. I can't tell you the devastation that this family is going through right now with something just that happened so quickly. She didn't talk to anybody. She was upset, they knew that, but they didn't know she was ready to do that. So having you guys to talk to and go to could make all the difference, and I congratulate you for your efforts.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Chris, I'm sorry you went.
Yeah, real good friend.
And I just want to take a moment and thank Ms. Howard and Ms. Loneman, because without teachers like you who step up and agree to kind of run these clubs, things like this wouldn't exist. And I know it's not easy, and it's a lot of extra commitment on your part, and I just appreciate you willing to put in that time so that this opportunity is there for the kids. So thank you.
Yeah, and I think you have Erin and her team, like you have a great alignment in that building for, you know, to have that next tier support and encouragement.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, legislative update, Chris?
Mark, I've got a pretty big thing here to bring up. Perhaps maybe the biggest thing in scale of 1 to 10 on what can happen in the state of Ohio with education through the legislative system. In November, a Democrat / liberal, I guess perceived to be liberal majority was elected to the Ohio State School Board. The lame duck session of the Ohio Senate, and you talk about partisanship, and then if they want to get something done quickly, how quickly they can move, immediately went into action and voted a week ago 22-7 to essentially disband the Ohio Board of Education and make the Ohio Department of Education a cabinet level position and rename it the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. Now you might think, well, what does the state school board do? Well, our testing, they set that up. That power will be taken away from them. Curriculum stuff, school textbook requirements, this sort of thing. So essentially, the Ohio Senate has, and I'm not sure if it's good or bad, but I suspect they were just circling the wagons before anything could be done by the new majority, basically rendered them impotent. And I'm not sure there's even going to be a reason for the state school board to exist if this goes through. Now, the Ohio House, which also has to approve it, the Speaker of the House today said it's lame duck. There's only 14 days left in their session. Lame duck meaning it's after the election. These guys, most of them don't have to worry about election for 2 or 4 years or are retiring. He has not pledged that he will bring it up in the House, and it can't go anywhere without the House passing it. Then it goes to the governor. But they have such a majority, 22-7, even if the governor vetoed it, it's veto-proof. So we shall see. It's all up to the House. But I'm amazed, again, how fast, when they want to, they can get things done. Other times it takes years. But in a matter of weeks, they were able to disband something that's been around in education for many, many years.
And if that goes through, isn't the governor the one that's going to decide how this is going to be run, the workforce services and?
Yeah, I think, well, his superintendent or his cabinet
Who
level,
he appoints.
Whom he appoints.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll have the same philosophies as him.
Sure.
Generally speaking, it's the way it does. So yeah, it'll change it around a lot, and I'll keep you posted if it does pass. And that's it.
Great, thank you, Chris. Butler Tech?
We have our board meeting tomorrow night, so I don't have anything to report until our board meeting, for our next meeting.
All right. Darrell, were there any reports from the employee organizations?
Not tonight.
And we received no community comments. And that brings us to superintendent consent items.
So tonight, we will start with our consent items, beginning with human resources.
We ask for your consideration for 7 resignations, 8 initial appointments, and various supplemental items.
We had 4 vendor contracts for Title I services, 2 for interpreter services, and 1 for the Kid Whisperer Conference.
We're asking for approval of 5 new high school courses for the 23-24 school year. We're looking to return to offering honors physics. That is a course that previously the board had approved. We'd like to offer AP seminar to our 10th graders for English. We'd like to offer AP pre-calculus if we don't have the opportunity to offer CCP pre-calculus. We'd like to add AP environmental science to our program of study. And then we had such success with our Cincinnati ASL course, a sign language course, that we want to offer the 102 version of that college and Credit Plus course. So we're asking for your approval of those 5 new courses.
Those were all after information last time. So with that, the superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the adoption of the consent items as listed.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I just wanted to ask about the behavioral conference, if you can just give us a little more information on what that was.
Yeah, so that is called the Kid Whisperer, and it is a consultant that comes in that does a lot of general classroom management techniques, and it's something that we were able to fund through Student Success and Wellness dollars that now is becoming self-sustaining because we open it up to the entire region. It's free for all of our teachers, but it's charged for any teacher outside the district. So based on the number of teachers who, from outside the district, who buy seats at that conference, we're able to keep that going free for our teachers from year to year. It's primarily at the elementary range, and so it really helps them with different routines and procedures to help with classroom management. And our teachers who've attended have been highly positive about it, and it's been very successful at our elementary.
So the contract or the financial piece for our district is
We pay for the conference, but we make enough from the outside registrations that it pays for itself at the end.
Okay, thanks. And then the drama club interpreter, is that for the high school drama clubs? Is that just?
Yeah, so we pay for interpreter services for anyone who needs that service to participate fully in the club.
In the clubs, okay, great, thank you.
Passes 4-0. That brings us to Amy.
Good evening. First, I'd like to ask the board to dispense with reading of our regular meeting on November 21st and the special meeting on December 5th. And we also have our financial reports for the month of November. Our all funds balance is a little over 71 million, and our general fund unreserved balance is 37 million. Our fiscal year-to-date receipts or revenues are 45 million, which is about 46% through the year. And remember, we receive our taxes twice a year. And our expenditures are at 36 million, or about 38% for the year. Our invested weighted average return is 2.72%, so it's continuing to climb up. And our list of monthly bills for the month of November are our routine monthly bills, as well as we had our debt, principal, and interest payments. We had students and staff software payments, custodial and transportation supplies and repairs. Northwest High School purchased some scoreboards through a donation also. So we had audit costs, and we have auxiliary and grant fund payments. We also have funds that we need to accept, approve, and appropriate. We received 3 safety grants from the state of Ohio for Colerain Elementary, Colerain Middle School, and Northwest High School, as well as the federal homeless grant. And for December, we do our quarterly appropriation resolution so that we can increase our appropriations up for restricted grants, and then also to match our 5-year forecast, which stays within our 3% of community partnership. So with that, I ask the board to approve the fiscal consent items as listed.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussions or questions?
Just one question, Amy. Where does, I notice every month the interest rate is getting, more competitive. Where does the district typically invest? Short-term local banks, national banks, government bonds?
Okay, so we have to file the Ohio Revised Code, Section 135. So most of it's like in T-bills and notes, and then also in Star Ohio. So depending on where we can get the majority of, or the highest interest rate, and also ladder our investments, so everything's not in one place or maturing all at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
How quickly on the safety grants will that start to move on some of the projects that you guys have that allocated to?
It should go pretty quick. You want to?
Yes, a lot of that is camera systems, things like that we're going to have to bid out, so we've got to go through the whole RFP process.
Yeah. Okay, great.
So, Chris, would you expect it to be this year yet? The new cameras?
I would probably look to be doing a lot of the work over the summer.
Okay, so, thank you.
It passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we have an approval of an adjustment to the Weigel partial demolition and alterations. This is to adjust the contract with a change order that will decrease the actual cost. So the superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the change order as listed.
So moved.
Second.
What's up with this decrease in the amount?
That's a first.
Yeah, no kidding. Passes 4-0.
Based on the discussion from the last board meeting, we have a resolution that would restrict the book Flamer being held in an administrative office and only given out to a child with parent consent. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the resolution for the book Flamer as listed, based on last month's discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments, discussion?
And who's going to be holding the book?
It'll be in the principal's office.
Principal's office.
And that passes 4-0.
And then at the last meeting, we also discussed the book All Boys Aren't Blue, and this is a similar resolution that would move All Boys Aren't Blue to the principal's office and only check out with parent permission after they're informed about the challenge.
Need a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions?
Darryl, have we, any prior books that parents need to approve before the student can check it out? Has a parent ever approved a book saying, yeah, that's okay, my kid can, is?
These are the first ones that we've instituted this process with,
Okay.
so we won't have any date on that for a while.
Okay, I didn't know if there were prior ones from before I was back on.
I just want to, I appreciate the, the parents that spoke for the book, some against the book, just the process and how it played out, and I appreciate the feedback from everyone. I think this is a good compromise for both, those of us that would not want our children to have the book versus, people that may still want their child to read it and, the parts that they approve. So just appreciate everybody that put their mind and time to it.
That passes 4-0.
Okay, so next we have our resolution declaring the necessity of a bond issue. We still have $40 million of deferred maintenance that we need to address, as well as we have overcrowding in our buildings and the quality environment, learning environment that we have for our students. So with that, the superintendent and treasurer recommend the Board of Education approve the resolution declaring the necessity of levying an additional tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation as listed.
Okay. Need a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
So that'll be for the May ballot.
Correct.
Amy, what's going to be, I'm sorry, Marco.
No, go ahead.
Okay. What's going to be different to convince people to vote for this that made them vote no in November? People have come to me, not a lot, but a number, when they see some changes, streamline it. Some people were concerned about the length. I think it was a very long, like an 18-year, 20-year levy. It's sort of like how we see car payments now. Instead of 4-year loans, it's now 8 years. What is going to make people want to vote for this? What's different? Is there anything that we can report that will entice people to support it?
I don't think there's anything different. We still have the same needs as that we've had. If anything, our needs just continue to grow and get bigger. The next resolution has the difference in the amount because costs continue to go up and interest rates go up. So we get less for more. And to stay within the 5 mills that we've been discussing, we have reduced the Houston preschool out of the project to bring the cost down to 168 million instead of 175, but it keeps the millage the same.
You know, and we have $40 million sitting there, state money, that if we don't pass this, we're gonna lose that $40 million that they're gonna pay 22% for, you know, this project. You know, you don't really get a lot of money back from the state, you know, paying your taxes and that, you know, to, you know, build 4 new schools in the district. I mean, we got 2 schools that are 100 years old. I mean, it's time that, you know, the community needs to step up and say, you know what, these kids deserve these new schools, you know, for 21st century learning.
Jim, I'll tell
And
you-
I would hate to lose $40 million
Oh, sure.
just sitting there to, you know, but it's, I mean, we need to, you know, get everybody on board.
And I'm all for raising the money in the sense that the Coring Middle and Elementary, I mean, we've been talking literally for 50 years about replacing
Yeah,
those buildings.
You're right.
And when you go up there, it's a matter of fairness to me. Usually pretty conservative on raising taxes. I think we're all getting taxed to death with everything on the local state. New police levy in my community, which is probably needed, but it's going to raise my taxes $500 in Green Township. That it's a simple fairness when I see kids in some parts of the district going to brand new schools, and then I see other kids
You
going
know,
to
walk into
100-year-old
Pleasant
schools.
Run Elementary or Struble, and then walk into Colerain L, and you're back 75 years ago.
We
You
get an
know.
email when the boiler had to be turned on to make sure your kids wear a coat, because
Yeah.
the boiler was having trouble starting up, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
it is different.
Yeah.
But, you know, the people inside Corin Elementary are amazing, they're doing the best they can with what they have, but every day it's a new issue to put a Band-Aid on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope that maybe it can be presented in a different way in the primaries in May, isn't it?
Mhm.
Amy?
It is.
So it's still 5 months away. But, you know, we shall see. But certainly we do need to do something. And to lose the
Yeah.
22 million is crazy.
Yeah.
And Chris, I think the other thing that is compelling for me is the fact that, like what Jim said with getting the credits, we have so many needs, like $40 million that need to be fixed right now. And anything that we do to fix something in a building now, when we rebuild it, we lose those credits because it's within 5 years of doing that work itself. So the longer we wait and the more money we put into the building, the less credit we get out. So if we have a roof that goes out and we have to replace that roof on Colerain L, then we're going to build a new Colerain L with a new roof, and we're going to pay for that roof twice versus paying a reduced amount because we get the credits for it now. So it really is, you know, using our resources wisely to use our credits, not fix as much as we can now, hold out until we can get those credits so we're not paying for things twice.
It makes sense to me, Daryl. You know, the free money part too. I don't know when that expires. Is there a time limit, like in the next 2-3 years?
We would lose that ability when we get to the CFAB project, which is when the state does the co-funded, which would be our phase 3, where they actually cash in the credits and the state funds part of the project. Once we get to that point, which we keep hearing within about 5 years or so, we're on that list statewide of as they roll through every district in Ohio. Once we get to that CFAB project, that's when we would cast in the credits, and if we haven't earned them at that point, we would lose them.
I just had heard on the news that Finneytown, I believe, was getting $30 million for a new campus over there, and that's newer than our Colerain Middle and Elementary. So, but anyway.
And it takes us longer to get to our name on the list because they consider our district a wealthy district. So we're higher on the list than other people.
Wealthy. I need to see
Which
what
is
they
beyond me
can
how they
afford.
determine our district is wealthy. That's ridiculous.
They must be looking at numbers from 50 years ago or something.
Who knows?
Okay, thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
Everybody vote? Everybody vote?
Yep.
Oh, 4-0.
Okay, so next we have to pass the resolution requesting to certify the maximum maturity of bonds, which is 38 years. And it also reduces the amount from 175 million to 168 million by withdrawing or taking out the Houston preschool out. With that, I ask the board to approve the resolution having the fiscal officer certify the maximum maturity of bonds as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussions?
Amy, real quick, the Montford Heights Elementary bond falling off, so taxpayers will notice that in May.
January.
Oh, this-
January bills.
The January bill?
Mhm.
Oh, excellent.
It is gone.
Good.
December, we paid, you just approved the final payments.
So paid off in
Paid
full.
off in full.
Okay.
Okay, and then finally, we need to certify our dominant county as Hamilton County with a partial into Butler County. So with that, I ask the board to certify that the school district is situated primarily in the county of Hamilton, Ohio, but portions thereof are extended into Butler County.
So moved.
Second.
What would happen if we didn't pass this?
You would fail your geography test.
Just.
We wouldn't
say-
get taxed.
Revote.
Okay, thank you. These will be certified with the county auditor's office.
Passes 4-0.
And then with that, we do have an item for information tonight from the curriculum department for the high school program of study. This is the program of study that outlines all of the courses at the high schools. This will come back in January for approval at our first meeting, and it will then give our counselors the ability to start working through the scheduling process with all of our students, 8th grade through 11th grade for the courses for the upcoming school year.
I'd love to see all the teachers bringing those, reading through what the courses that they're bringing in. Are we losing any courses that we previously had?
We are removing a few courses. There is a summary of changes attached to the
In Uh-huh.
item.
that? Okay. I saw the
Most of
new
that
one.
is because we cannot offer them because either there's not enough student interest or we have other courses we need to offer to meet graduation requirements. But those courses have been board approved and could come back if interest increases or we're able to offer them in the future.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then we did have a challenge to the Bluest Eye. The committee that was formed did share that they had recommended the book stay on the shelf. The board asked for the ability to discuss this, as they did with Flamer and All Boys Aren't Blue, about the ideas you have about whether that book should follow the recommendation or not.
Open for discussion?
Mark, I read a number of reviews on it. It seems to fall into that same category as the other two books. In my opinion, if a parent wants to approve it for a child to see it, that's one thing, but that shouldn't be made available for a 14-year-old ninth grader without some sort of parental consent. So I think it's good that we bring it for a vote next meeting.
Okay.
I agree, 100%. What do you say?
What would be the content that was questionable? I just need that for the resolution.
Well, pedophilia alleged. I am going from reviews. I did not read the book, but I'm going from reviews that were legitimate. Promotion of homosexuality. What else is?
To me, it's violation of community standard. I mean, again, my position on this has been, if this was a movie, an underage student would not be able to walk in and see the movie without their parent. This aligns with our community standard, I believe, having it separated and available as a compromise in the administrator's office.
I will work on getting that resolution for the next board meeting.
Okay.
Next, you have a list of the proposed meeting dates for the Board of Education for calendar year '23. So those are there, with our first meeting being January 9th, which is the organizational one, which would be 3 meetings in one.
Great.
And for the update, I just want to remind everyone that we do have a redistricting process going on, and we do have a public meeting tomorrow night at 5 p.m. at Colerain High School, where proposed new maps will be shared. Cropper will be there to share the rationale behind the maps. We'll ask for community input and engagement, and it will be then posted. We're going to record, so anyone who can't make the meeting, we're going to record it. We'll post the recording on the website so that you can watch the recording. The maps will be available so people can actually interact with them. You can actually put in an actual address, and it will tell you if any changes are being proposed for that address. So people will be able to interact with the map, really understand them, play with them, get in there, see what's going on, and then they can go onto the form and give feedback. The feedback form will be open all through break, so that once we come back, we'll be able to synthesize that and see if there are any additional changes that can be made to the map. So I do encourage everyone to be engaged in that process, to look at the maps and give feedback in that process.
And I'll be at the Butler Tech board meeting
Okay.
because our board meeting's tomorrow night.
It'll be
It's
recorded.
5 p.m. at Colerain High School.
5 p.m. It'll be a half-hour meeting, and then there will be, the maps will be actually there in person. You can like see them on a easel. So we'll have a gallery you can kind of walk around, and then there is a concert at 6:30. So we encourage people to not only do the gallery walk for the redistricting maps, but then stay and get some wonderful music from our middle school orchestra.
So the redistricting that occurred 2017?
2018.
2018. This process is very different than that process, correct, or not?
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's a very different process. We, in 2018, did an internal process. We've brought in Cropper as an expert, and we're having multiple public meetings where it's being shared with feedback along the way.
Okay, great.
Did you say that after the meeting, parents can go in and put their address, use the website as a?
Yeah, if you go to the website, it's an
Okay.
interactive website where you can actually.
So after tomorrow,
you
they
can,
can
yeah.
do that.
Once you go to the website, you can get there. The maps will be loaded on Wednesday, so you can actually see the maps. You can interact with them, look at the actual boundaries now and the proposed ones, and see what changes are being proposed for each address.
I guess since we voted, we can't redistrict out of Hamilton County, right? We're stuck
You
here
kind of
in
locked us in.
Hamilton County.
And then I do want to encourage, there are a lot of events happening at buildings right now, so we encourage people to like stay around after the redistricting meeting for a holiday concert. There are concerts happening almost every night. Our kids are extremely talented, and I encourage everyone to go witness their creation, listen to them. You'll be moved by the talent of our children, and so I just encourage people to get out and hear and see for themselves the talent of our students. And then we are coming up into a holiday season where we will have a break, and we just wish everyone a safe and joyous break for whatever that means for them, however they celebrate. We encourage people to just reflect, rejuvenate, and reconnect with people that you may not have been able to see recently, or just take time to do whatever you need to do to recharge your battery. People need that time to just come back after the break with a different mindset. So we wish everyone a safe and joyful season.
Good. Any questions or comments for Daryl?
One, with the, coming up to the center point of the year, at the beginning of the year, we did a transportation survey of parents of if your child's going to ride the bus. Do we do anything middle of the year to look at maybe combining routes to make any changes just to, for the buses that may be more empty than we thought, and try to get some of those routes less canceled
They
through the
actually
winter?
do that in October with a report they submit to the state, but I'll let you talk about that, Chris.
Yeah, but we're always looking at that.
Okay.
You know, during this first part of the season, we've already canceled 2 routes and combined them
Oh,
into
okay,
the other routes. So
Okay, thanks.
that's always on the forefront.
Yeah.
And we do have to submit a report to the state around ridership in October. And so that's always a time where we analyze who said they were going to, who's not riding, and then make adjustments and combine routes. And but yeah, they're always looking at it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks.
So it's that time of year again when we have to appoint somebody as pro temp for the very first meeting as we organize the officer positions. So we will need a recommendation and a motion and a second for one of us to do that position.
Mark, I'll go ahead and nominate you since you do such a good job as the president this year. And I thank you for your good jobs. We've had some tough meetings, and you've done a very good job, Mark. You
Thank
really
you.
have.
Appreciate it.
So I'd like to nominate you for the pro tem position for the first meeting.
Second.
All right. I would be honored to do that for you guys. Do we change the motion to put my name in, or
I'll just put
you'll
your
just
name
do
in.
that? Okay. And that brings us to board member comments. Chris?
Okay, Mark, just a couple things here. I always like to recognize not only our students, but our prior students. And today, the Associated Press came out with their list of All-Americans. The University of Cincinnati has had 2 prior in its 125-year history of football. Now we can make that 3. Ivan Pace Jr. has been selected first team All-American as a linebacker. The man's a force. I'm a season ticket holder, and he's a one-man wrecking team. I hope he stays for a 5th year. I think the only thing that might hurt his NFL chances is size, but if he doesn't make the NFL, certainly Canadian Football League. The NFL likes these 6'3", 280-pound linebackers. Ivan's a little smaller, but he's fast. And the second person I'd like to mention is Deontay Corleone, known as the Godfather. Deontay was selected as a freshman as 3rd team All-American as a nose guard. He is, as one Coleraine coach told me, a brute. And he meant that in a pure complimentary form. Deontay will certainly be first team All-American by the time he's a senior. I did hear that when Deontay went to Skyline, his typical meal, which you see has forced him to cut down, was 7 cheese conies, a large 4-way, and a taco. So I guess that's why he's went from 380 to 340. And finally, and congratulations to those 2 gentlemen. And I would like to just, as Darrell said, wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We live in turbulent times. Let's hope 2023 is a good year. Humanity gets some common sense and starts treating each other like the way they want to be treated individually. And with that, I'll pass on to the next person.
I just want to give my condolences to Tyler's family. I didn't know him, but they're going through a rough time, and just want to give my condolences. And then I just want to thank the kids that came for the Hope Squad. I had a son-in-law that committed suicide a few years back. So it's just, it brings around, you just never know, one little thing could help. Somebody thinking, I'm going to end it all, but it's a tough thing to go through. So I just really want to thank them for that, and then wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd also like to just continue to offer my condolences to Tyler's family. Just seeing the support that they got tonight was amazing, and just goes to say just how the great families and students that we have in this district, as well as the coaches and the staff that showed up. Congratulations to the band members, all the students, teachers, coaches, fall athletes. And then also thank you to everyone that volunteered or donated to Nate's Toy Box or Sun Ministries. The distribution was this past weekend, and it was awesome to see just the amount of people that were volunteering there. The Hope Squad, I think, is amazing, and I can't wait to see how that builds over time, and the amount of friends and lives that they'll touch that they may never even know. So I think that's awesome. Also, the PRE kindergarten staff for their awesome presentation. Love to see that bringing the animals in and the hands-on is huge with those kids. And, you know, seeing the kids, my son was sick and missed the Corrin Elementary second grade presentation, but we had a friend video and he sang along and watched it. And just to see those kids back up on stage and going on field trips, and I just love seeing those things. So wish everyone a Merry Christmas. It's been an awesome year. I appreciate all of your guys' support as I've started my time on the board. So thank you and enjoy it.
Thank you. Tyler's family, we're privileged to have these kids here. And it's just heartbreaking. And we just get in these processes of just stuff that we get caught up in it, and these moments slow you down. And I want to thank his family for allowing us to experience Tyler. I want to thank all of our staff for everything that they've done. I mean, where do you start? I mean, it's been maybe not as difficult this year as it was last year, but it seems like things are starting to somewhat normalize. Seeing kids at the zoo and seeing kids sitting and talking and not sequestered from each other, and you know, I'm going to echo what Chris says. I hope next year we're a little more familiar with each other and we treat each other with incredible dignity and respect, and show our character. Again, thank you to the administrative staff for everything that you guys have done this year for us. Loved all the presentations. I love the feel that we have in our board meetings with the successes of our kids. And then echo that Hope Squad. That was probably one of the most impressive things I've ever seen, talking to them. A couple of the Hope Squad representation up in Columbus, and I'm excited that we have that at Colerain High School, and that we can have that whatever building would like to participate. I know Erin and her team are 1,000% behind it. They have a great leadership team there, and I'm positive that it'll be successful there. And just echo everybody, have a great, safe Christmas, enjoy your families, and come back to us rejuvenated and refreshed.
All right, with that, the board will approve a motion to move into executive session to discuss the evaluation of the superintendent. Superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the motion to move into executive session as listed.
So moved.
Second.
We will break for executive session. We will come back to close the meeting out. There'll be no other additional action items other than to just dismiss the meeting. And that passes 4-0.